They position themselves in your life as help, as support, as someone you could always rely on. And yes, they did things for you, a lot of things for you. They showed up for you. They solved problems quickly. They made themselves available constantly because they were always there. You trusted them deeply. You believed their presence meant safety. You believed their involvement meant love. But what you did not realize was this: while you were calling it care, they were slowly conditioning you to depend on them. Because every time you were about to figure something out yourself, they stepped in first. Every time you were about to build confidence, they made you feel like you still needed guidance. Every time you were about to trust your own judgment, their voice became louder than yours. And after a while, you stopped listening to yourself completely. That was the strategy. The strategy was to keep helping you enough so you never realize you are losing yourself. Keep making life easier temporarily while weakening your ability to move without them long term. Because dependent people are easier to control. And some people do not want your growth. They want your attachment. They want to become so necessary in your life that eventually you question whether you can survive without them. So they help, but not enough to free you. They advise, but not enough to empower you. They comfort you while quietly weakening your independence. And here's the deeper perspective to this. You were dealing with someone insecure, someone who needed to feel needed, someone who quietly manipulated the narrative to make it look like they were doing everything for you, so that it would seem like you had no reason to ever go anywhere, so that you would stay, so that you would remain dependent. And the dangerous part is, you thought their constant presence meant they cared deeply for you. But sometimes people help you because they are afraid of who you become without them. Afraid that once you fully trust yourself, you will no longer need their permission, no longer need their approval, no longer need their control. And when you finally pulled away, everything changed, because they genuinely believed you would come back. They thought you would realize you needed them to survive. They expected the phone call, they expected the desperation, they expected the begging. They thought eventually you would come back asking them to rescue you again. But what shocked them was this: you suffered, but you survived. You struggled, but you adapted. You cried, but you kept moving. And now they are forced to watch you become stronger without them. Because what they called help was slowly becoming control. And God had to expose it. 2 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 9 says, "But this happened that we might not rely on ourselves but on God." Some of you had to be separated from certain people because God was trying to teach you that your survival was never connected to human control. Amen. Your strength was never coming from them. Your future was never locked inside their abilities. And now you finally see clearly. They were not preparing you to stand on your own. They were preparing you to keep needing them. But God will sometimes allow distance so you can rediscover your own voice again, your own strength again, your own discernment again. Psalms chapter 118 verse 8 says, "It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man." And that is the lesson, because the moment you stopped depending on them, you finally discovered that God had already placed inside you everything you needed to survive without their control. Amen.